Hi, I'm Steve from Nearly Wild, and I'm here today with
Amy, who's living and working at Three Pools Farm in Evison, which is very close to Abergavenny.
Abergavenny, so just in the southern part of mid Wales, I suppose, for many of you. Tell us a little bit about what happens on the farm, because it's we've been having a bit of a chat, and it's certainly not running in traditional manner. I mean, you're looking at some new ways of working here. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about the farm.
So we've got 140 acres, and the priority is to see the whole ecosystem and a longer term yield from the land that we're on. We have some sheep and some cows.
And the occasional sheepdog running through, just in case you see. Yeah.
You might hear them. And we have a lot of botanicals that we harvest, and we also, the sheep are made into our own wool products. We make chutneys and jams. We host dinners here. We have our own market garden. You can hear the tractors maybe in the background, that's our hay. But yeah, it is a different, it's a different sort of farm.
We were talking earlier, we were talking about that word permaculture, which is just which one of the sort of more ecologically based systems of thinking about planning and how you're going to use your resources, isn't it? And is that a fundamental way of thinking about the farm? Is it a way that you plan what you're going to be doing, or?
Yeah, there's a lot of focus on the people, the culture, the long term of the land. The land here was used as a holding for sheep before we came here 3 years ago, Three Pools, 3 years. Mm-hmm. So we're still quite a young project, but the sheep, it was a holding place for sheep before market, so it's very intensively grazed. Yep. And now we're moving the sheep around much more gently, and we leave our meadows much more longer. So yeah, hopefully the nutrition the sheep are encountering and the well-being of the land and the soil is and that's definitely something that we've had confirmed even in 3 years. Some of the monitoring that we had little Blitz and the quality of the soil and things like that are already registering the difference.
That's really interesting. In 3 years, so that's the sort of start of, some people might know that as regenerative agriculture. So yes, there's that kind of bringing it back to life using the biodiversity and using what's in the soil, in the seed bank, isn't it, as much as anything?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, the soil is our most precious resource, and it takes time, but yeah, like you can see that things are quickly restoring. The land feels, I mean, people always comment on how the land feels so lush and alive, and you know, the wildlife coming through. There's actually a little stoat that lives behind us that runs around. We've got lots of buzzards, and I mean, Wales is full of wildlife, but the farm actually accommodates that wildlife as well.
And what sort of sheep are you running?
They're the badger-faced sheep, which are lovely, and lovely wool as well.
Yeah, very lovely, yeah.
Really nice.
How many are there on the farm?
So we're doing well. I think we're at about around 70 at the moment.
70, yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got the hay cropping and so on as well.
Yeah.
You've got a bit of market gardening going on.
Bit of market garden and about 9 heifers at the moment, which we're hoping we're going to have some pregnancies this year. Yep. We're not quite there yet, but we'll work on it.
Brilliant. And that'll be for beef?
Yeah, that beef cattle, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not a dairy farm.
No. Yeah. And you've also got these buildings, and as you were saying, you run these events and so on. So presumably is that using produce off the farm?
Yeah, we think it's important that people can come here. So relatively small groups of people, but weddings can be hosted here. We say provenance is what we talk about, and we really love to tell the story of everything, the details of when we've used herbs from the land to make botanical drinks, or we love to put some of our hogget on the barbecue or slow roast it, and then things from the market garden, and also bringing back old ways of preserving things. Just that general food education, the liveliness of engaging with taking a plant and so quickly putting it on the plate, and that's something that we like to get people doing, as well as doing tours. So most people who come here will get a tour of the farm and just get to see like how huge the systems are that we're playing with, and the gambles of, oh, should we make this choice or that choice, and the experiment. As a farmer, there's a lot of experimenting that goes on, and you don't always know where you're going to end up, so you have to be quite responsive. And I think the responsive nature of the farm is important for us as well.
Right, and you've kind of got that, so there's the earth care, the fair share, and where you're trying to work together, and the people care as well. I mean, and you were talking earlier as well about volunteers coming and looking at developing that side of things, possibly seeing how that fits within the farming and the ecological system as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a volunteer here, and I came here just for I came here for 2 weeks just for lockdown.
They haven't let you go yet.
Yeah, we thought that lockdown was 2 weeks long, and now I've been here 3 months, and it's definitely helped us to shape what roles there are in the farm, and also the level of what we teach, what can be learnt from the land, and then what value there is of bringing different expertise into the ecosystem of the people that are on the farm. And it's definitely a place that we also, small businesses, like we're now at 3 years. It's time where we could start engaging with small businesses using the space, or definitely the programming is shifting from being mainly sort of social gatherings, do you call it wet hiring or dry hiring, like where people come and they're using us like a venue. And I guess we're moving more towards events where we're sort of hosting learning and
putting more purpose into that sort of event side.
Where us showing up as a farm and farmers is the value of the space, not just a pretty garden as a venue. And I think that that's something that feels different, that people might want to come here and run a leadership event because there's the context of having a vibrant farm with systems thinking in it. And you might want to run a youth camping event here again, because you can actually talk to a young farmer who's entrepreneurial and is running a viable business within the context of nature. So
that kind of relationship between running something as a viable business that has a function and clear purposes, productive and so on, but also nature friendly, and then collaborating with others in whatever way is most appropriate, but keeping that heart of the sort of nature friendliness in the middle of what you're doing, in a way.
Social and nature, friendliness, exactly. Harmony.
Harmony, yes. Harmony, the phrase used earlier on, I think beautifully brought it together. That's great.
It's been wonderful to meet you guys, actually.
And you, many thanks for the interview. And obviously, for those of you who are interested, there's more information at the end of the video, and we'll put links, obviously, to the farm and the other activities that are happening here. But
I'm going to do a tour. We're going to do a tour with the main farmer. That's coming soon. And
we'll hopefully link that in, because there's a thing called the Wales Real Food and Farming Conference. So for those of you who are interested, you might also want to check that out, because it's a lot of subject matter that's very, very relevant to what we've been discussing today.
Great, thank you.
Lovely, thanks for your help.